So here we are back for another episode of the Killie Boys, and we've reached the end of the January transfer window. And did some players leave? Yes, they did. And did I panic buy replacements? Also, yes, I did. I very much did. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. Yes, hello, welcome on in to Living Sports here for the Killie Boys on Ep.100 21. If you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button for more daily football manager content. And as you can see from the screen, just above me there, Calafiori did end up going, but not to the team who you thought he might have. There were more people who came in for Calafiori and ended up going to Lille for £19 million. You see he's now worth 26 million. He is a very good player, but he had that release clause in his contract. So unfortunately, Calafiori had gone. If you missed the last episode, we were talking about this when we played our couple of games and we saw the first half of the January window. But yeah, Calafiori has gone, and I will show you some more people who are also away thanks to the January transfer window. CJ Egan-Riley, who's been a very good servant for the club, since the 2022-23 season. We then signed him on a free, and he was an integral member for quite a few years. Kind of didn't play as much in the last few years, and he got signed on a free by West Brom, but we made them pay £1 million to get him 6 months early. So, not too bad at all. 1.4 million indeed. So unfortunately, Egan-Riley is away. He was a very good squad player, but he's away to West Brom now. And the other big name who we've lost, who I'm sure you are preparing yourselves for, as soon as I signed him, after I mentioned that he did have a £6.75 million release clause in his contract, is Stefan Milicevic. Remember, we signed him for free from Red Star Belgrade, but couldn't get that release clause out of his contract, and Bournemouth have taken it. You can see Bournemouth in the Premier Division in England. He's already started for them in the league. He looks as if he's going to be a very good player, and indeed he is. He's away down to Bournemouth, and that meant we could have done with a replacement because the rest of our centre-backs were not as good as Milicevic. I think that's kind to say. He was averaging a 7.16 average rating for us, scored lots of goals from corners, so we may have panic bought some defenders. Let me show you. The first one is Bobby Thomas. He's a 3.5-star player. He's fairly decent player for us. We're paying £42,000 a week. He's got some nice stats, all kind of around the 13-14 area. 3.5-star player. We paid £24 million for him from Derby. I mean, he's played one game in the league so far for us, scored a goal, got a 7.8 average rating. So his average rating's great. Probably not worth £24 million, but we paid it for him anyway. And as if that wasn't enough, we've signed Gregory Anila as well. We signed him from Rennes for £10.75 million. They signed him for £7 million from Milan at the start of the season. He's played 3 times for them and they've made nearly £4 million profit on him. I don't know. I was panicking. It's a 3-star player. Certainly be good enough for a squad player, even if someone like a Darren Anderson plays in front of him. But yeah, I told you I panicked. And I panicked. But one player who you remember we signed kind of halfway through last episode was Eddie Nketiah, who hadn't got off to the best of starts, but in the last game we played, he scored a hat-trick in the game against Hamilton. A hat-trick as he started up front. So at least that signing's somewhat decent. Come on, just give me something. I was panicking a bit. And the reason I was panicking was because after the Celtic loss, we lost 2-0 to Dundee, 2 Lewis Reed penalties in the first half when we lost the game. They only had 2 shots in the whole game, it was 2 penalties, and we lost the game 2-0. We then drew 0-0 against Hearts, not a great game for us. Made some of those panic signings and offers and stuff. We did win 5-1 against Hamilton, thanks to Eddie Nketiah's 3 goals. Bobby Thomas scored on his debut for us, and Roman Bukert scored a goal as well. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I was panicking, was because we had a pretty poor January. And then I lost some of my players, so I wanted to fill them in. But anyway, let's hope we are good against Hibs and Aberdeen today. just showing you the league table before we jump into the Scottish Cup game today. We are currently top of the table on 54 points. Rangers and Celtic are below us on 53, but Rangers have got 3 games in hand, so if they win them all, they'll be 8 points ahead of us, and Celtic have 1 game in hand, so if they win that game, they'll be 2 points ahead of us. So we're top of the table at the moment, but we're likely not going to be, which is not ideal to say the least. And what is also not ideal is the fact that we have Ryan Morris out injured for the next week or so. Tomas is still on international duty. Magallanes, who had an offer accepted because it met his release clause from Hoffenheim, but he rejected the contract. Magallanes is out injured, as is Jesus De La Rosa. So our team's got a few players in different positions that we'd want. In goal, we're going to go with Felipe Duran, who'll get his debut for us. We still need to give him a squad number. I'll get to that in a minute. Thomas is going to partner Anila at centre back. I could have played Pena, or I could have played Anderson or Chara, but I'll play the 2 new boys and see how they do. Maza gets the game at right back because there's no Magallanes. Guerrero at left back. Pena in midfield. I'm maybe going to have to call him Pena 1 and Pena 2. Because we've got 2 Penas. I suppose one has the funky thing above the N. So maybe I can call him Pena with the funky thing. I don't know. But Pena and Velasquez in midfield. Velasquez, no one met his minimum release fee. I'm not quite sure how. So I'm going to see if over the next few months I can get him to sign a contract that doesn't have it in it. I'm not sure I will, to be honest. But those 2 in the midfield. Hamill in front of them. Lambert on the right. Buchert on the left. And Crenetta up front. Was very tempted to play Nketiah again. But I'm going to go with Crenetta today, just to see if he can score some goals. His average rating in recent games is 6.54, not good. Hopefully he can improve that. Today you can see that Crenetta is actually wanted by Hoffenheim, who keep trying to buy a lot of my players, and I'm not sure why that is. We'll give Felipe Duran the 51. I'm sure we gave him a squad number last season. I must have got rid of it for some reason, but you can get the 51. So here we go, the 5th round of the Scottish Cup up against Hibs here. We beat Hearts in the last round. Can we beat the other side of Edinburgh in this round? There is a highlight straight from kickoff, as you can see. And Klimala is through on goal, and he's scored inside 20 seconds. That's not the best of starts. You can see Maza gets the ball here. He plays it forward toward Lambert. Lambert's challenged by Brown. Johnson plays a through ball. Not great from Thomas. Klimala takes it, and also not great from Duran. And goal. 1-0 Hibs. Well, since Hibs scored a goal, the goal was their only shot. They've just had a second shot there, but we basically had all the shots. But there's not been a highlight since the goal either. But we had all the ball and the shots. But now at last, there is a highlight. Maza with it on the right-hand side for us here. Can he get the ball in the box? He goes down the line. He gets challenged. Can he swing it in? He plays it back to Pena and to Hamill. And Hamill hits it. It's gathered by Robbie Much, the former Kilmarnock man, in the Hibernian goal. And it's a corner kick for Hibs here. 42 minutes on the clock. Swung in, headed in. Goodness me. What on earth is going on? We might be out the Scottish Cup if we do not buck up our ideas. Swung in towards the middle, and there's 4 defenders there. Yet still, Delamare gets up and wins that ball. And we've reached half time, and that is poor. Very poor indeed. And I'm going to change my tactic and play 2 up front. I think we'll take off Hamill, who's not had the greatest of games, and we'll bring on Eddie Nketiah to play up front. Let's see if we can do something different here. We're also going to change to our attacking mentality and see if we can do something here in this second half. A corner kick for us here. Lambert swings it into the back post, and it's all the way through, and there's nobody there, and Mee comes away with it for Hibs. He plays the ball forward, but Thomas heads it on toward Lambert and into Crenetta and through to Eddie Nketiah, and it's a good save from Robbie Much in the Hibs goal. And we've made a couple of changes. They brought on Christie and Jovic on the wings instead of Lambert and Buchert, and we'll see what they do there. Jovic wins that header and finds Crenetta, and Crenetta passes it straight to Beckles for the Hibs team here. Klimala gets the ball after a long ball forward. It's through in behind the defence again. Is he going to hit it on the edge of the box? He finds Delamare and finds Grant and back out to Brown on the left hand side, and Klimala's through, and it's a good save from Duran in the end. And let's see, do we have anything here, or is that the end of the highlight? Duran pumps it forward, and Nketiah brings it down, finds Jovic with it into Crenetta, and Crenetta hits it, and it's 2-1. Crenetta for the 27th goal of the season. 20 minutes left to go in the game. There is a chance we can get back in this. Route 1 football there from Duran, all the way to Nketiah, who brings that down. Jovic gets it, plays it back across, finds Crenetta, who hits that in the bottom corner. It's a very good finish, and just 2-1. And it's a goal kick for Hibs here. Much plays it short to me, who launches it forward. Mazza intercepts. Christie collects it. Christie drives infield. He hits it, and that's high, wide, and not at all handsome. And there's 5 minutes left to go in this game. Can we do anything? I'll encourage the team for the last 2 minutes of the game, but it looks like we are out of the Scottish Cup. Indeed, we are. A 2-1 defeat. The poor form continues, and hopefully we can turn that around in the next game of this episode, up against Aberdeen in the Premiership. Right, so here we are with the team for the game against Aberdeen. Ryan Morris, they say that he's able to play today, even though he's apparently starting rehabilitation and returning to full fitness in 5 days. They say he's able to play without any complications, so he will play indeed. We'll continue to play Mazza, Thomas at the back. Anderson will play beside them, and I could never say this boy's name at left back. Guerrero. I might have to change his name. But Guerrero at left back. Pena and Velasquez in the middle again with Hamill just in front. Lambert on the right. We're going to go with Eddie and Nketiah to play in off the left-hand side. You can see he's unhappy. It's something to do with failure to strengthen the squad. Never mind. He'll get happy eventually. To come off the left-hand side, and Crenetta to play up front. It does mean that Booker drops to the bench, and we drop Anila completely out the team to have Anderson playing there at centre-back as well. Let's get into this game. We can see there's some very good players there. Lots of 4 and 3-star players, some 3.5s as well. It's a very, very good team. We should be winning this game against Aberdeen. Let's make sure we do. So as we were stepping out, this said we're 9th in the form table in the Scottish Premiership, which is not good enough. So fingers crossed we improve today. Hamill plays the ball forward toward Lambert, and Lambert scores. There we go. 5 minutes in, score a goal. Fantastic. Lambert's 15th this season. Of course, yep, we've improved. Perfect. Let's improve that form. She's thrown in the left-hand side. Guerrero throws it to Hamill. Hamill drives infield with the ball. He sees Lambert one-on-one with his man. Plays it over the top of the defender. One bounce, and Lambert hits it on the volley at that near post. And we're up 1-0. It's a free kick for Aberdeen. Tomasevich finds Asgard, and Tomasevich with it again. What's going to happen here? Plays it forward. Mazza intercepts it. He goes as far as Crenetta, and Crenetta gets past his man. He's through on goal here. 1-on-1. Oh, but he hits it before the defender gets anywhere near him. He cartwheels away in celebration. And we're up 2-0 here. That is a breakaway goal for the ages. That was wonderful. Mazza finds Crenetta, who touches it and gets past his man, leaves him in his tracks. That's unbelievable. Into the box. The defender tries to come across, but he drills it into that bottom corner. Keeper nowhere near it. We're up 2-0 inside 23 minutes. The unfortunate thing is that Celtic are up 1-0 as well, which means they're going above us in the table still, but we'll get over that just about. Guerrero, who's on a yellow now, finds Hamill again, who's found Lambert and Mazza on the overlap. And what's he going to do now? Going down the line. Will he cut the ball back? No, he swings it in. It's headed away by Sykes straight to Mazza though. Mazza infield to Lambert. Lambert back to Mazza and Velasquez and Hamill, and some nice passive football. And Eddie Nketiah finishes it off. And that is beautiful. That's how I want to play. Control possession. That is lovely. You see here, Mazza gets the ball into Lambert. One touch. Passes. Mazza, first time pass to Velasquez. First time pass into Hamill. Takes a touch. Plays it to Nketiah, who slots it in at the near post. And that's beautiful. 3-0 Kilmarnock inside half an hour here. They're checking for offside, but he's nowhere near offside. Look at that. Nothing to worry about. 3-0. And another highlight here, starting on the left-hand side again for us. Hamill with it. Plays it toward Lambert, who's in acres of space on this right-hand side. Finds Mazza. Mazza down the line again. Will he cut it back? He runs on himself. Plays all the way back to Pena and Velasquez. And then Nketiah, can he finish? He can. It's his second of the game. Kilmarnock's 4th of the game. Eddie Nketiah's 5th goal of the season. He's playing well on that left-hand side. Maybe we found our man to play there instead of Booker. But Booker's been scoring lots of goals as well. I can't really complain about our left-hand side. See that Pena plays it into Velasquez, who finds Nketiah after he just darted inside, leaving the right back in no man's land. And we're up 4-0. 2 for Nketiah, 4 for Killie. It's another tight offside, it says, but it's not. Look, loads of space. Miles onside. And he slots that in the bottom corner. And that has been one of the most dominant first half performances I have seen us have in quite a long time. Not in terms of possession, but in terms of the scoreline. 4-0 to us there. 13 shots to 3. Only 50% of the ball. But we have done much more with it than what Aberdeen have done with their 49% of the ball. And we lead at half-time. Beautiful. Lots of greens for all the players having played so well at the bottom there. Lambert swings in that corner, and it's cleared as far as Nketiah. And he plays it back to Velasquez and Thomas. And Velasquez chips the ball toward Lambert, but it's intercepted by Devine. Devine plays it forward as far as Guerrero. I'm struggling to say that name again. And then Nketiah's got the ball here. Guerrero plays it down the line toward Nketiah. They maybe starting a good partnership. It's swung in toward Crenetta, and it's off the frame of the goal and cleared away. So we've made a couple of changes. We've taken off Velasquez and brought on Stacey, and we've moved Mazza over to left back and brought on our second Pena to play on the right back position. And as it says here, Lambert, they want to take off, so happily do that. Ryan Christie come over him. It's been a fairly quiet second half after a dominant first half for us, but a 4-0 victory nonetheless. Celtic have matched us against St Mirren, but that doesn't take anything away from that performance in that first half from these boys. And fantastic. Lambert, Crenetta and Nketiah all on the score sheet. My 3 attacking players, just who I want to score goals. Beautiful. You can see the league table just in front of you there. Celtic and us have played the same amount of games now, and we're just 2 points behind them. If Rangers win all 3 games they have in hand, they go on to 62 points. So at worst, we would be 5 points off the top of the table. But the next league game we play, you won't get to see it, but the next league game we play is against Rangers. So if we win that, then you know that would close that gap should Rangers win those games in hand that they have. But looking at the schedule, I think we'll come back for our Euro Cup 2 second knockout round, our Conference League knockout round. As we normally have been doing in previous seasons, we'll show you both legs in the one episode with a quick update of Dundee United. And between it, I don't know who we play yet because the first round hasn't happened. But when that does, obviously we'll know our opponent and you'll get to see that in the next episode. So it'll be a surprise until then. But yes, playing our second knockout round of the Conference League in the next episode. If you have enjoyed this one, even though we lost in the Scottish Cup, it was a lovely 4-0 victory against Aberdeen, a fairly dominant performance. If you have enjoyed it, do hit that thumbs up button, leave a like, it really does help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next one, we'll see you then.